Everything that you're looking at, they're all tied in together. Every part, as crazy as this seems, as outrageous as it seems, it all ties in. Every bit of it.
There has been some updates in the Diddy $100 million default judgment that we reported on earlier this.
Sean Diddy Combs is no stranger to controversy, but his latest legal battle is shaping up to be one of the most explosive in recent memory. For months, rumors and allegations have surrounded the music mogul, and now a stunning new development has emerged. Diddy's legal team has reportedly made a bold move in his fight for freedom, one that could reshape the entire case. But here's the kicker: Diddy might not be facing this battle alone. Whispers are circulating that he may be striking deals behind the scenes, potentially naming other high-profile celebrities as part of a secret agreement aimed at securing his release. If these rumors hold true, Diddy could be offering up major names in exchange for leniency, and the fallout from such revelations could send shockwaves through Hollywood, leaving the industry reeling from the consequences.
As far as, is he going to turn people in? Is he going to cooperate? If the federal government wants him to cooperate, and they're going to cut his time, because right now he's looking at 15 to life. With all the charges he had to, he won't get out till 70 years old. He about 70, that's when they start talking about letting him come to a halfway house.
It's no secret that Sean Diddy Combs' legal team has been working around the clock to secure his release ever since his high-profile arrest in September 2024. Facing serious charges, racketeering, trafficking, and more, with the possibility of a life sentence if convicted, the stakes could not be higher. Despite the weight of the accusations, Diddy's attorneys have been relentless, filing motion after motion to get their client released on bail. However, so far, they've been met with rejection at every turn. Now, a stunning new development suggests Diddy's legal team may be pivoting to a more daring strategy. Insider sources reveal that Diddy's latest request for bail comes with a jaw-dropping offer: $50 million in cash. But that's not all. The real bombshell is the rumor that this new bail package is tied to a secret deal, one in which Diddy could be cooperating with federal authorities. Whispers are intensifying that Diddy may be offering up crucial information about some of the biggest names in the entertainment world in exchange for his freedom. Although his legal team has firmly denied any such deal, the speculation alone has sent shockwaves through Hollywood, with many wondering who might be implicated if Diddy's cooperation is real.
If that's part of the indictment, that's someone like a blackmail. He was blackmailing people to be in the freak-offs. So that's federal. That could be that's a federal charge. He can't blackmail people to say, yo, listen here, you did it once and you're gonna do it again. That ain't gonna make it with the government or nobody.
So, who might be in Diddy's crosshairs? That's the million-dollar question. Over the years, Diddy has surrounded himself with some of the most powerful and influential figures in entertainment, from fellow music moguls to A-list actors. His circle of friends and associates reads like a who's who of Hollywood's elite, and if the rumors are true, some of these very people could soon find themselves under intense scrutiny. Industry insiders are already buzzing about who Diddy might be willing to implicate in order to save himself. One name that keeps surfacing in connection with Diddy's alleged deal with federal authorities is Jay-Z, his longtime friend and collaborator. The two music titans share a deep history, having worked on countless projects together and attended some of the most exclusive events in Hollywood. But could their relationship be more complicated than it appears? Some sources are speculating that Diddy's alleged cooperation with the FBI could involve revealing details about certain events that he and Jay-Z were involved in during their glory days. While there's no concrete evidence linking Jay-Z to any criminal activity, the mere suggestion of his name being tied to Diddy's legal troubles has sent the rumor mill into overdrive, sparking wild speculation about the potential fallout for both moguls.
Jay-Z got his ass by his sister-in-law on camera. What's her name?
Right.
Solange. You got it. The feds ain't step in and do nothing. The feds don't care about you getting your ass whooped.
But Jay-Z isn't the only major name being whispered about in connection with Diddy's legal troubles. Leonardo DiCaprio, the Oscar-winning actor known for his wild parties and close ties to Hollywood's power players, has also been linked to the case. DiCaprio has long been a fixture at Diddy's infamous gatherings, and some speculate that his presence at certain events could now come back to haunt him. While there's no hard evidence tying DiCaprio to any illegal activity, with Diddy reportedly ready to name names, anything is possible. Another name that has surfaced is Usher, the R&B superstar who has been closely tied to Diddy for years. Usher was mentored by Diddy early in his career, and the two have remained close ever since. However, whispers suggest Usher may have been present at some of the questionable events that have landed Diddy in hot water. While no allegations have been made against Usher, The fact that his name is now being mentioned in the same breath as Diddy's legal troubles is raising eyebrows across the industry.
Took Sean Diddy Combs into custody. He's seen in this video entering the Park Hyatt Hotel in Midtown Manhattan with others when agents from Homeland Security Investigations approach and separate him. They place Combs under arrest and lead him out the front door in handcuffs.
Of course, none of this has been confirmed, and Diddy's legal team has quickly dismissed any talk of a deal as nothing more than baseless gossip. However, the reality remains that Diddy's situation is becoming increasingly dire, and desperate times often call for desperate measures. With his trial date looming in May 2025, it's entirely possible that Diddy feels the mounting pressure to cut a deal while he still has the chance. If the prosecution's case is as strong as they claim, Diddy could be facing the possibility of spending the rest of his life behind bars, a fate that, for a man who spent decades living in luxury, is likely something he'd go to great lengths to avoid. But what would it mean for Diddy's reputation if he is indeed cooperating with federal authorities? For someone who has long been seen as a kingpin in the music industry, turning informant could be a devastating blow to his legacy. Diddy has always prided himself on being a self-made mogul, someone who built his empire from the ground up through hard work and determination. If he's willing to betray friends and associates to save himself, that carefully cultivated image could be shattered forever. It's a high-stakes game Diddy is playing, and the fallout could reverberate throughout Hollywood and beyond.
Well, one of the things that's going to happen, and I do believe that there has been a grand jury investigation that has been employed in this case. I think there may be a federal investigation going on, and there may be a stateside one, but I'm not totally sure. But one of the things that the prosecution in any case is going to try to do is show that there is a pattern of behavior.
For now, though, it's all speculation. Diddy's legal team remains adamant that their client is not cooperating with authorities and that the government's case is weaker than it appears. In fact, they've gone so far as to accuse the prosecution of misleading the court about the strength of their evidence. According to Diddy's attorneys, the government has been inflating the scope of the case, painting Diddy as the mastermind behind a massive criminal enterprise when, in reality, the evidence against him is flimsy at best. They argue that the prosecution is relying on sensationalized stories from disgruntled former associates and unverified claims from people seeking quick payouts. One of the key pieces of evidence the prosecution has been pushing is a 2016 video that allegedly shows Diddy engaging in inappropriate behavior with his then-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, during one of his notorious parties. However, Diddy's legal team insists that this video has been taken out of context. They argue that the footage doesn't show anything illegal or non-consensual and is being used merely to tarnish Diddy's reputation in the court of public opinion. Diddy's attorneys have gone so far as to claim that the entire case against him is built on a foundation of lies and exaggerations, seeking to discredit the prosecution's narrative at every turn.
These are all allegations that have become shockingly familiar against Diddy in recent months as he has faced lawsuit after lawsuit from women and men who have accused him of all manner of...
Still,
there are a lot
the government
of strong
remains
opinions about this
confident that
case,
they have
and
enough evidence to convict Diddy on multiple charges. They painted a picture of him as a man who used his vast wealth and influence to manipulate and exploit those around him, building a network of enablers to carry out his alleged activities. According to the prosecution, Diddy's infamous parties were far from harmless fun. They were part of a much larger, more sinister operation involving coercion and manipulation on a massive scale. While Diddy's legal team has tried to downplay the significance of these events, the government's case continues to gain momentum. But what happens if Diddy is granted bail? That's the question on everyone's mind. His legal team has proposed a comprehensive package that includes round-the-clock surveillance and strict restrictions on his movements, alongside a $50 million cash guarantee to ensure he doesn't flee the country or attempt to interfere with the case. However, the prosecution isn't convinced. They argue that Diddy is too much of a flight risk and point to his history of intimidating witnesses, claiming that he poses a danger to the community. In their eyes, releasing Diddy on bail would be a huge mistake, one that could jeopardize the entire case and allow him to continue influencing the outcome.
I think his attorneys raised some good arguments.
I think they raised good arguments as well. Maybe this will be third time's the charm, because the difference between this bail motion and the prior two is that this one really does get to the heart of what the court was concerned about, which was witness intimidation.
Then there's the question of Diddy's potential cooperation with the feds. If he is indeed working with authorities, could it be enough to tip the scales in his favor? It's hard to say for sure. But one thing is clear. This case is far from over. With Diddy's trial still months away, there's plenty of time for new developments to emerge and more names to be dragged into the spotlight. If Diddy is cutting deals behind the scenes, the fallout could be massive. The entertainment industry may be in for a rude awakening, as more high-profile figures could be implicated in the scandal. While Diddy's lawyers continue to fight tirelessly for his release, the shadow of this case looms large over Hollywood, leaving everyone wondering who might be next in the crosshairs. One thing's for certain, The ripple effects of this case could be felt for years to come.
I don't think they are scared of him. I think they more so, they don't want him to embarrass their reputation and things that they've been known for.
As the clock ticks down to Diddy's next court appearance, all eyes are on the music mogul and his legal team. Will they be able to convince the judge to grant him bail, or will Diddy remain behind bars as he awaits his day in court? And perhaps most crucially, what other secrets does Diddy have up his sleeve? Could his alleged cooperation with the feds lead to even more bombshell revelations about some of Hollywood's biggest stars? Only time will tell. One thing is certain though, this story is far from over. The drama surrounding Diddy has been brewing for months, and as more details emerge, it's becoming clear that the situation is far bigger than anyone initially imagined. Diddy's legal troubles didn't happen overnight. They'd been building for years. While some close to him may have seen the storm coming for many, it's shocking to watch his empire teeter on the brink of collapse. The charges against him are serious, and the case is shaping up to be one of the most high-profile legal battles in recent memory. But how did it all unfold? What exactly led to Diddy's dramatic fall from grace, and what are his chances of beating these charges? The answers are still unfolding.
Diddy is now being sued in addition to what we just talked about by Dawn Richards. You guys will remember her. She was a part of Making the Band.
Dirty Money.
Dirty Money, the Danny Kane era. So basically what she is alleging, she's alleging a lot of different...
It all started in November 2023 when Diddy's ex, Cassie Ventura, filed a lawsuit that sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry. Cassie, who had been in an on and off relationship with Diddy for over a decade, accused him of years of abuse and manipulation. She didn't hold back, making harrowing claims that painted a disturbing picture of their time together. According to the lawsuit, Diddy not only controlled her life, but also coerced her into situations that were far beyond what anyone could have imagined. It was a bombshell that rocked the public's perception of Diddy, leading many to wonder if there was more to his image as a successful businessman and music mogul than met the eye. But the most shocking part, just 24 hours after Cassie filed her lawsuit, it was mysteriously settled. The details of that settlement remain under wraps, but it was clear that Diddy was willing to pay a hefty sum to make the problem go away quickly. For some, this move only fueled suspicion. Why settle so fast if there was nothing to hide? Rumors even began circulating that Diddy had allegedly offered Cassie an 8-figure sum before the lawsuit went public, hoping to keep her quiet. Whether or not that's true, one thing is certain: the lawsuit opened the floodgates. From that moment on, Diddy's life would never be the same.
Diddy has been under criminal investigation for months by federal prosecutors here in New York. And if there are criminal charges, many of them may look a lot like what some of these individuals have been described.
The Cassie lawsuit may have been the catalyst, but it was far from the end of Diddy's legal troubles. Just days before the New York State Adult Survivors Act was set to expire, 2 more lawsuits were filed against him. One came from an anonymous individual and the other was from Joey Dickerson Neal, who claimed Diddy had assaulted her back in the early 1990s. For those unfamiliar with the Adult Survivors Act, it allowed victims of certain types of abuse to file civil lawsuits regardless of how much time had passed since the alleged incident. With the deadline fast approaching, it seemed like people were coming out of the woodwork, ready to take Diddy down. The anonymous lawsuit was particularly disturbing, with claims that Diddy had engaged in behavior far beyond what anyone had previously suspected. Joey Dickerson Neal's lawsuit, however, took things a step further. She accused Diddy of driving her without her knowledge in 1991, leading to an assault that was filmed and then circulated within the music industry. Dickerson Neal described how the trauma from that event haunted her for years, but after seeing the lawsuits piling up against Diddy, she felt it was finally time to speak out. If her claims are true, they raise serious questions about Diddy's behavior going back decades, well before he became one of the most powerful figures in the music world.
This is in the matter of Derek Lee Cardello Smith, MDOC number 267009 versus Sean Combs, Sean Puff Daddy Combs, also known as Sean P. Diddy, also known as Diddy, Bad Boy Records label owner.
As the lawsuits piled up, Diddy was forced to make some tough decisions. In late November 2023, he stepped down as chairman of Revolt TV, the media network he had founded in 2013. Revolt had been one of Diddy's major business ventures, and his departure sent a clear message that the mounting allegations were beginning to have real-world consequences. The network released a statement distancing itself from Diddy, emphasizing that while he had no day-to-day involvement with the company, his departure was necessary to protect its mission and values. For someone who had spent years building his brand as a mogul and entrepreneur, this was a huge blow. And the hits kept coming. By December, more lawsuits were filed, including one from a Jane Doe who claimed Diddy, along with 2 other individuals, had assaulted her when she was just 17. This lawsuit became the 4th filed against him in less than a month, prompting Diddy to finally break his silence. In a statement posted on social media, he vehemently denied all the allegations, calling them sickening and accusing his accusers of being motivated by the prospect of a quick payday. He made it clear that he planned to fight back and prove his innocence, but by then, the damage had already been done, and Diddy's reputation had been irreparably tarnished.
At 5, the legal troubles continue for Sean Diddy Combs tonight after a judge ordered the music mogul to pay $100 million to a Michigan man who says that he was assaulted by Combs in '97.
According to court documents, Derek Cardello Smith says Combs drugged and then assaulted him during an after party at a Holiday Inn in Detroit. But Combs never responded to the lawsuit in court.
As if the lawsuits weren't enough, Diddy's business ventures also began to take a hit. In December 2023, 18 brands cut ties with his e-commerce company, Empower Global, citing the growing allegations as the reason for their decision. Empower had been one of Diddy's initiatives aimed at empowering Black entrepreneurs. But with the mounting controversy, it seemed that no one wanted to be associated with him anymore. Some of the brands that pulled out released statements expressing their disappointment, acknowledging their previous admiration for Diddy's leadership, but emphasizing that the serious nature of the allegations made it impossible to continue their partnerships. Then, in March 2024, came the raid. Federal agents from the Department of Homeland Security executed search warrants at Diddy's homes in Los Angeles and Miami as part of an ongoing investigation into trafficking and other serious crimes. It was clear the authorities were taking the case against him very seriously. According to sources, agents seized various materials, including electronic devices, that could potentially be used to build their case. Diddy himself wasn't home at the time of the raids, but his legal team quickly responded, accusing the authorities of using excessive force and turning the investigation into a witch hunt. The raid marked a dramatic escalation in the case, leaving many wondering just how deep the investigation would go.
I think in federal court and for these charges, they would say it's routine, but in the public realm, this is very significant, just from who we associate Diddy being and everything we've seen him do over the decades. Like you said, this is quite the downfall to go from, I mean, we saw the mansions back in March that were raided by the feds. So to go from living in those mansions to being...
But it wasn't just Diddy's homes that were targeted. Around the same time, a man named Brendan Paul was arrested at Miami's Opa-locka Airport. Paul, believed to be connected to Diddy's inner circle, was booked on charges related to the possession of certain substances. While it's unclear whether his arrest was directly linked to the case against Diddy, the timing certainly raised eyebrows. Paul's arrest added another layer of intrigue to the already complicated case, leading many to wonder just how deep this investigation really goes. As the investigation continued, Diddy's legal team fought tooth and nail to get him out on bail. They made multiple requests, each time offering more money and more stringent conditions, but the judges weren't swayed. Diddy was denied bail not once, not twice, but 3 times. The court cited concerns that he was a flight risk and might intimidate witnesses if released. In response, Diddy's legal team accused the government of exaggerating the evidence against him, claiming the case was weak, and that prosecutors were using the media to paint Diddy as guilty before he even had a chance to defend himself in court. The stakes were rising, and the battle over Diddy's freedom seemed to be escalating with every passing day.
Interesting because I think, we have seen many photos, videos of Sean Combs, aka Diddy, through the Associated Press, through Instagram. And so to see him kind of in person after being in jail for 3 weeks now was pretty interesting to say the least. And I say that by being that you would expect him to feel a little defeated, a little gaunt, anything like that. But it wasn't that case. He appeared confident.
Despite the setbacks, Diddy's legal team wasn't ready to give up. In May 2024, they filed yet another motion for bail, this time offering $50 million in cash and proposing 24-hour surveillance to ensure Diddy wouldn't flee the country. They also pointed to 2 high-profile cases where defendants accused of similar crimes had been granted bail, arguing that Diddy deserved the same treatment, but the prosecution pushed back, insisting that Diddy was too dangerous to be released and that the evidence against him was stronger than his defense team was letting on. As Diddy remained behind bars at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, more shocking revelations began to surface. In May 2024, a video from 2016 was leaked to the media showing Diddy in an altercation with Cassie at a hotel. The footage, obtained by CNN, appeared to show Diddy shoving Cassie to the ground and kicking her before dragging her down the hallway. It was a disturbing glimpse into their relationship, and while Diddy's legal team tried to downplay the significance of the video, it was hard to ignore. Cassie's lawyer, Douglas Wader, released a statement calling the video gut-wrenching and praising Cassie for her courage in coming forward with her accusations.
It has to be a 100% culture shock. I can't imagine living a lifestyle of the incredibly rich and famous and then going into this very dark, impersonal, cold, austere facility.
The leaked video only added fuel to the fire, and it wasn't long before Diddy found himself facing even more allegations. In May 2024, a former model named Crystal McKenna filed a lawsuit claiming Diddy had assaulted her in a New York City recording studio back in 2003. According to McKenna, she had been given a drink that she later suspected was spiked. After the incident, she woke up disoriented in a taxi. McKenna's lawsuit not only named Diddy but also his record label, Bad Boy Records, and his clothing brand St. John, accusing them of enabling his behavior by continuing to employ him despite knowing about his alleged misconduct. As more lawsuits piled up, Diddy's once untouchable reputation began to crumble. Even his children started to feel the effects of the scandal. In October 2024, Diddy's 6 children released a joint statement on social media, expressing their support for their father and calling the allegations against him false narratives. They insisted that Diddy was innocent and that the truth would come out in court. But by then, the damage had already been done. Diddy's empire, once a symbol of success and power, was starting to look like it had been built on a foundation of lies.
And if he's allowed to go through with any of the sales, I won't be able to recoup any of my monies or anything from him as a result of any possible judgment in this action, if he's allowed to proceed with it. And an injunction or a restraining order would help ensure that he's not manipulating and selling the property to avoid.
With his trial now set for May 2025, the question on everyone's mind is whether Diddy will be able to clear his name or if this marks the beginning of the end for one of the most powerful figures in entertainment. The stakes couldn't be higher, and as more evidence comes to light, it's clear this case is about much more than just Diddy. The rumors about who else might be involved continue to swirl, and if Diddy really is cooperating with the feds, Hollywood could be in for a rude awakening.
Basically what that means is the money that they're saying Diddy has to start paying this guy on October 1st, right. Diddy's team is like, hold on, we need an emergency conversation about why this should not have been granted. And they awarded him a TRO, which basically meant that Diddy's team was not allowed to sell any property in that state or anything related to what could be used to pay the plaintiff.
The next few months are sure to bring even more twists and turns in this already tangled case. And with so many lives and careers on the line, it's anyone's guess how it will all unfold. Will Diddy finally secure his freedom, or will he remain behind bars as the trial approaches? And if he does manage to get out, what other secrets might come to light as he fights to defend himself? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and be sure to subscribe for the latest updates on this unfolding story.